Hot Shots is a 1991 American comedy film directed by Jim Abrahams, co-writer and co-director of Airplane, and written by Abrahams and Pat Proft. It stars Charlie Sheen, Cary Elwes, Valeria Golino, Lloyd Bridges, Jon Cryer, Kevin Dunn, Kristy Swanson, and Bill Irwin. The film is primarily a parody of Top Gun, with some scenes spoofing other popular films, including 9 1/2 Weeks, The Fabulous Baker Boys, Dances with Wolves, Marathon Man, Rocky, Superman, and Gone with the Wind. The sequel, Hot Shots Part 2, was released in 1993, with Sheen reprising his role. Did you know? The aircraft carrier on which the movie takes place is actually a wooden deck built on the edge of a cliff at a deserted Marineland facility. The film was shot at an angle that made the deck look like a ship at sea. Valeria Golino claims the scene in which she catches an olive popped out of her belly button was accomplished without trick photography. Topper Harley's name comes from Harley-Davidson's 1960s motor scooter, the Harley Topper. Topper's real first name is Sean. This can be seen on his ID badge in Ramada's office during their first meeting. Charlie Sheen remarks before a particularly energetic fight sequence, "I learned this one from Paula Abdul." Paula Abdul was married to Charlie Sheen's brother, Emilio Estevez, at the time of the film's release. The enemy are flying in the Northrop T-38 Talon, twin-jet trainer, airplanes built for the U.S. Air Force as a supersonic training airplane for pilots and astronauts. During the helium peace pipe scene, much of the Native American dialogue is just names of cities and towns in Minnesota: Owatonna, Mendota, Orono. On the movie's poster, Ramada is seen wearing a flight suit. However, in the movie Ramada isn't a fighter pilot and is a therapist. Storyline warning spoiler. The film begins at Flemmer Air Base 20 years in the past. A pilot named Leland Buzz Harley loses control of his plane and ejects, leaving his co-pilot Dominic Mailman Farnham to crash. Although Mailman survives, he is mistaken for a deer owing to the branches stuck to his helmet and is shot by a hunter. Topper Harley wakes up from a nightmare he is having about the event when Lieutenant Commander Block asks him to return to active duty as a pilot in the U.S. Navy to help on a new top-secret mission, Operation Sleepy Weasel, commanded by the senile and accident-prone Admiral Benson. Harley experiences intense psychological problems, especially when his father is mentioned. His therapist, Ramada, tries to stop Topper from flying, but she relents and also starts to fall in love with him. Meanwhile, Topper gets into a feud with another fighter pilot, Kent Gregory, Mailman's son and a former boyfriend of Ramada, who blames Buzz Harley for his father's death and believes Topper is dangerous. Block starts privately meeting with an airplane tycoon, Mr. Wilson, who has recently built a new super fighter that will make the American pilots superior. Block reveals that he brought back Topper for the reason of making Sleepy Weasel fail. Block would then report that it was the Navy's planes that were the real reason for the mission failure and that they need to be replaced with Wilson's planes. During one of the last training missions, an accident between Pete Dead Meat Thompson and Jim Washout Pfaffenbach leaves Dead Meat killed and Washout demoted to radar operator. Block believes this is enough to convince the Navy to buy new fighters, but Wilson calls it a minor incident, saying the planes need to fail in combat. Topper develops a strong emotional attachment to Ramada, but she is haunted by her past with Gregory. On the carrier SSSS, Benson reveals the mission to be an attack of an Iraqi nuclear plant and Block assigns Topper to lead the mission, much to Gregory's protest. Wilson, who is also on board, instructs a crew member to sabotage the planes, putting the pilots' lives at risk. In the midst of the mission, Block mentions Buzz Harley to Topper, who has a panic attack and is unable to lead. Block just starts to call out for the mission to be aborted when Iraqi fighters attack the squadron. All the plane's weapons fail, and Block, realizing what has happened, tells Topper that he saw what really happened with Buzz and Mailman, that Buzz tried to do everything possible to save Mailman, but ended up falling out of the plane, failing in his attempts. With his self-confidence restored, Topper single-handedly beats the Iraqi fighters and bombs the nuclear plant, dropping a bomb directly on Saddam Hussein. Back aboard ship, Wilson's plan is revealed, and his standing with the military is lost. Back in port, Gregory hails Topper as a great pilot and gives his blessing to Ramada to be with Topper. The end credits show Dead Meat and Mailman in spirit, with Dead Meat saluting and Mailman giving a thumbs up. See you later.